Hi guys! In this in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can actually shapeshift your appearance. And I know this sounds crazy, but if you think of how everything is energy and physical matter is also just energy, then using law of attraction and things like that, why wouldn't it be possible to change energy in your form? And people believe that you can use the law of attraction to influence different situations and manifest and different things like that, but for some reason people don't think it applies to your physical form, and it does, because physical matter is just energy vibrating. It's not even solid form like what you think. If you look into quantum physics, you'll actually read that particles are popping in and out of reality, so it's not even solid, it's all energy, so you can't influence energy within your physical form. If you've ever noticed that on days where you're happy, you look in the mirror, you'll notice that you tend to feel more attractive and better looking, and days where you feel not so good or insecure, you'll notice that it's almost like you literally feel your physical form is changing, and that's because a lot of your beauty and radiance and attractiveness has to do with your inner self, which is why people in relationships say that a person literally looks more or less attractive based on their energy and how they're getting along and stuff. If you take a simple example such as losing weight, a lot of the time people who are overweight are usually holding on to something emotionally, and it's not so much the diet. Like, they'll try so many different diets and nothing will change, and then when they shift their mindset and their beliefs about how they deserve to look, and you know, more about the energy of what they want to radiate, then they lose the weight. It's not so much always about the diet. I've actually experienced this with a friend of mine that I had, who she was on a water fast and was losing a lot of weight, but she would gain it back. And so she would do a water fast and she'd lose weight and then she'd gain it back. And I told her, I said, I think this time you're actually gonna keep the weight off, and I'm excited, I think you're gonna look great. And she got really, really offended and upset with me and was like, basically like, why can't you just accept me? You know, what's wrong with me being overweight and what's this and that? And I told her, you know, why are you identifying with yourself as an overweight person or as a fat person? To me, your body is just your avatar. There's so many people, especially a lot of people who are overweight, who make it into a movement or into this thing where like their weight and their fat becomes an identity, and they want to defend it rather than just seeing that the body's an avatar. And there's no shame in being overweight, but there's no reason to identify with it either. So things like with plastic surgery and stuff like that, I used to be a little bit judgmental of it, or think like, oh no, like you should love and accept yourself, don't do that, blah blah blah. But as time has gone on, I really think that the human body is just an avatar, and like you can do whatever you want with it as long as you're safe. And you know, I'm always about trying to do natural things the most, so it's always worth trying things naturally. And then, you know, if you can't deal with it, why not do what makes you happy? So I want to discuss 3 different ways that I've discovered you can naturally shapeshift your appearance. The first way is by cleansing your energy body. So when I say cleansing, a lot of our energy around our looks and how we feel actually comes from our environment, from our relationships, from how people speak to us, from the media. So if you're constantly taking in information that's making you reflect to yourself in a bad way, such as being in a toxic relationship with a partner who could be insecure and projecting insecurity into you, or if you have friends that are constantly nitpicking themselves. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Mean Girls, that scene where they're all looking in the mirror and picking out things that they don't like about their appearance, and then they look at Lindsay Lohan, I forgot her, Katie or something, and kind of like expecting her to also have something to be insecure about. It's very much like that, where your crowd and their confidence and their level of security in how they appear, that energy will influence you. And so subconsciously or internally, that energy will literally manifest in the way that you look. Confidence literally does translate into your beauty and your appearance. So you want to clear out any negative influences, any negative energies from your environment. Another way to cleanse is cleansing, obviously, your diet, your mindset. So just cleansing out your energy, clearing it out so you have a clean slate. The next way you can naturally influence and shapeshift your appearance is literally through visualization. So the same way that we hear about visualizing what you want to manifest and holding it in your mind's eye over and over for a long period of time, you can use that modality to influence the way that you look. So when you're looking in the mirror, if there's something you don't like about yourself or your flaws, you can influence that and change it by visualizing yourself in the way that you would want to look. So when you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at a different version of yourself, or the best version of yourself, and you're holding that in your mind's eye. And it's going to feel very difficult and straining at first, but the more you persist in it, the more your physical form will actually begin to take that shape. It does take a lot of belief and patience, which is why it's not so easily done. Otherwise, everyone would have figured this out already and will be walking around looking in their perfect ideal form. But for people who are super tuned into their meditative practice and visualization and know how to stretch that muscle, it's completely possible. One sort of hack for this is using filters, so like Snapchat filters and stuff. A lot of people don't like them and, you know, say not to use them, whatever. But if you use that filter and kind of like see yourself as that ideal form, or like if you're a girl and you have makeup on, or like just seeing yourself, if you're a guy, like you have a photo of yourself that you really like, just focusing on that photo where you liked how you looked and just like imprinting, allowing that to imprint into your mind's eye. The third way, which is really cool and not so many people know about, is using subliminal messaging. So there's a whole section on YouTube of subliminal videos, subliminal audios for everything you can imagine. You can listen to subliminals for growing taller, growing your hair back, or growing a six-pack. Whatever, you name it, there's subliminals for it. So if you listen to these subliminals, again, persistently, it's almost like brainwashing yourself, brainwashing your brain into producing or doing what it needs to do to create the difference in your physical appearance. Also, again, it's not going to work if you do it but you don't have the belief and the energetic state to allow that shift to happen. But it's a really good tool to help you even further than the cleansing your energy and visualization, is listening to these subliminal implanted messages to help you achieve your desired change. There's also a lot of testimonials about subliminals, so you can actually look up people's before and afters on Instagram and on YouTube. If you just look up like subliminal before and afters, so that can also give you the motivation to try and implant the belief that it is possible. There's a lot of contention when it comes to the issue of beauty and appearance. Because a lot of yogic paths are preaching usually detachment, not being attached to the form, its transience, etc. It tends to be very condemning towards the body in spirituality, which is why I really love Tantra, because in tantric yoga, the body is used as a tool to help you on the spiritual path. It's not about being attached to your body, but it's knowing how to use the body and not be consumed by it. Like everything, it's like being a master of the self. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you have had any experiences where you shape-shifted, or someone who's shape-shifted. I would love to hear your stories.